We'll now hear from Commissioner Ellis.
Mr. Chairman and Congressman Green, thank you both for being here. My name is Rodney Ellis. I serve as a commissioner from Precinct 1 in Harris County. I represent about 1.2 million diverse residents in one of the most disaster-prone communities in the country. Counties, as you know, Mr. Chairman, are at the front lines when disasters strike. We open shelters, coordinate first responders, work with volunteers, mutual aid partners. We deliver food, water, life-saving support, prayers, whatever people ask for, whatever we think can help. The partnership between counties and FEMA is essential. Counties rely on FEMA to scale up to address large disasters. FEMA relies on counties to execute response efforts on the ground. Our nation's emergency response framework depends on this coordination. Strong collaboration saves lives, but too often coordination breaks down, compounding the disaster, and the threat of disaster is growing. Harris County has experienced 8 federally declared disasters since 2015. Climate change is here, and it's bringing stronger storms, more extreme weather, and more frequent flooding. Yet, as hurricane season approaches, Texas stands to lose millions in federal funding due to the administration's devastating cuts to FEMA. When federal support is cut, local budgets take a hit. Harris County already faces a budget crisis. Without FEMA support, our budget is even tighter. Fronting millions of dollars for disaster recovery means foregoing millions of dollars towards health care, housing, and other vital services that residents depend on. These decisions impact entire generations. After Hurricane Harvey, many families in Harris County waited for months, some for years for help. Entire communities were left behind and are still waiting for recovery. In Kerrville, poor response times took lives of 28 people at Camp Mystic, the majority of whom were children, and more than 100 others across the region. Disasters do not affect everyone equally. Vulnerable communities are often hit the hardest. Black and brown neighborhoods face greater flooding and longer recovery. Disaster funding calculations are heavily weighted against poor communities. Data shows neighborhoods that already have less resources actually lose money through losses that compound with every single disaster, while more affluent neighborhoods tend to do better. Often, that is a result of federal policy. Renters and undocumented residents are neglected entirely. For families living paycheck to paycheck, especially during an affordability crisis, one disaster can push them over the edge. 79% of households earning less than $25,000 a year report being unable to recover an unexpected $400 in expenses. People live in tarp-covered homes while others go bankrupt. I'm going to submit the rest of my comments, but I'm so proud that you all formed that Congressional Equity Caucus. 2 things I want to particularly ask you, Mr. Chairman and Congressman Green, to look out for, assuming there are changes in the leadership in the next Congress. One is we ought to finally get rid of cost-benefit ratio. Cost-benefit ratio means we take care of the wealthier neighborhoods first. It's not worse first, it's wealthy first. And everybody agrees from FEMA on down the line it ought to change, but it has never changed. The last point I want to make is direct allocations to cities and counties mean so much. It costs the federal government more because you got to monitor what we do. It's easy to just monitor 50 states. HUD in the last administration made an important ruling where essentially they agreed that the funds were distributed by the state of Texas based on race. And it gave life back to Title VII of the Fair Housing Act. And that was such an important ruling. It has been withdrawn, obviously, but because of that, we lost about $1 billion to the city and $1 billion to the county. The county got about $1 billion of it back. We're still fighting over that. But that direct allocation would be so much easier. So counties and cities don't have to operate at the whims of whether or not they get along with their state partners. So I want to encourage you to look at those 2 things in your equity caucus. Thank you for being here.